Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, ayy, on the roll, here we go. Yeah, we winning by a landslide. Never see me coming, I'm a landmine. Yeah, I ain't taking orders in command like, yeah, you about to see me on demand like, you know on demand. If you ain't know, you about to understand. Yeah, I got the team by my side, right hand. Yeah, take it to a string, you ain't seen it like that. Yeah, and it's the dream, and we coming for the bag. Yeah, and we ain't never going back now. Future expedited, now we on the fast track now. They won't lend a hand, now they see us on the map now. It's time to act out. Here we go, at the top of the class on a roll, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, ayy, on the roll, here we go, yeah. At the top of the class on a roll, ayy, and it's time to run it up, yeah you know, yeah. Maxed out, put the pedal to the floor, yeah, on the roll, here we go.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to the HVAC Uncensored Podcast. You know I always start this show off by showing love to those companies who help make this possible. Guys, my friends over at Yellow Jacket, I talk about them all the time. And I always say this, I know they're not the flashiest product out. Maybe their commercials don't look like some of the other ones. But one thing that I love about Yellow Jacket, and I will always praise, is their tools are dependable. They do exactly what I need them to do when I need them to do it. I have the videos that I made a while back that I'm actually going to put back out. Their digital manifold, the P51, 860, and 870, where I literally beat the living hell out of this thing. I threw it off the roof, left it out in the rain, left it out in the snow, and every morning when I would turn this thing on, it always turned on. So that means a lot to me. I get it. I don't ever want to tell you, boys and girls, men and women out there, where to spend your hard-earned money. I just want to tell you where to look sometimes. That's all. Give this a look, and if it's something that you like, that you can use, that can make you more efficient and help you every day, by all means, go do that. And one of the brands that I highly recommend is Yellow Jacket. If you're looking at the screen, I have all of three of these. Two of them are going to be a giveaway here soon, that combustion analyzer, the CA502P. So I'll be giving away the one with the printer, as well as the YJack Mano, the wireless dual port manometer, and this turbo recovery machine. To be honest with you, I think is one of the best ones out. I have a couple of these. I had one from Yellow Jacket they sent me. We put to good use. The guys love it. We had to buy another one, and when it came time, the guys asked for this. We have Field Piece. We have a couple of them. We have I can't remember the other one. We have a couple of them. So I was surprised when the guys asked for this one. I thought they were just doing it because, Yellow Jacket being one of my sponsors. And they were like, no, this thing's been amazing. It literally, gets the refrigerant out of these things quick, fast, and in a hurry. So I was very, very happy to hear that. So all I ask with some of that summer money you're making, if you're going to go upgrade some tools and buy some, give my friends over at Yellow Jacket a look. And remember, I don't care what digital manifold you buy. You better have Yellow Jacket hoses hooked up to it, or you're just doing yourself a disservice. All right? On to the next. And you know who this is, man? My friends over at BLUON. Guys, I keep saying this. You saw the podcast that was back a little bit talking about them. And I want you guys to know this. I haven't made a huge deal of it. I'm going to make some posts, but they had a WeFunder thing where people could invest into the company. Everybody says, oh, Gil, well, not everybody, but some people say, oh, Gil, you talk about BLUON because they sponsor you, which is the farthest thing from the truth. Excuse me, I didn't mean to burp on Mike. But I invested $10,000 of my own money into BLUON because I believe in everything that this company is doing. When they say that they are upgrading the HVAC industry, damn it, that's what they're doing. they have put resources out there that I think people have just not caught on to yet. And you don't realize how it can make your day more efficient. It can simplify some of those little tasks that we have to do. You know, with the tech support, the truck stock, and then being able all the perks they have to be able to get paid and make money for the things you're going to do already. Every Monday, they're giving away a couple of $1,000, $250 at a time, just for people placing orders. And you guys are placing orders. If you're not a business owner, you're not even spending your money. You know, you're ordering through the supply houses that you were going to, get stuff from anyway. You're just doing it through your BLUON app, and then you can get credit for it. So you can win a drawing on Monday for $250, $500. Well, $250 is one person. And then you can also get points by using that app that you guys can therefore get gift cards to take your wife out, whatever it is, for doing what you were going to do anyway. It just makes sense, everybody. It just makes sense. If you have not checked out the BLUON app, I don't really know what the hell you're doing. So, guys, go check out the BLUON app, and remember, they are upgrading the HVAC industry. On to the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. God bless the United States, and thank you to all those men and women who defend it.
Five, four, three, two, one, go. Welcome to the #1 rated HVAC podcast. If you're looking to grow in the HVAC industry, then you're in the right spot. Blue collar people talking about blue collar shit. Let's get better together. So turn up the volume, buckle your seatbelt, and let's welcome your host, Gil KV Jr.
What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the HVAC Uncensored Podcast. I'm your host, Gil KV Jr. Here we are, another hump day, another Wednesday, another great show for you guys. Thanks some of you guys that are here live all the time. I appreciate you guys being here every week. I really, really do. Just to say hello to some of you out there that I know are here. Mr. Jason Johnson, Rookie, some of my moderators. What's up, fellas? Thank you so much. Brian Sanders, Mr. Brett, what is up, homie? Freon Leon, Mr. Chris Miller. Let's see who else we got down here real fast before we go live. I think that's all the names that I see right now. And that's just on YouTube. Sorry if I missed anybody on Facebook. It doesn't always give me names. Guys, real fast, real brief before we start the show. Podcast is obviously keep going every Wednesday. Some of the videos, I'm finally in the process of doing the whole move and everything. Well, kinda. So you're probably not going to see me on social media as much as it was. So some people have messaged me saying, "Hey, is everything all right? My mom is good. I just want you to know that that's the reason that I'm not on social media as much. Podcast will still be here. That's not going anywhere. But as far as some of like the TikToks and Instagram and stuff like that, it's only going to be the pre-recorded stuff. It's not going to actually be me on camera. Unless it's like a video from the podcast. So I just want you guys to know that. With that being said, man, I have an awesome guest tonight that I'm so happy that she's coming on. Some of you guys don't know that some of the guests that I've been fortunate enough to be able to have come on the show are because of this agency. And I've known that they've done a whole bunch of things very well. I've heard from other people, other friends who do podcasts, who own businesses, but to now finally have her on to hear exactly how they're helping these people in the trades and things that they're doing is absolutely amazing. And I'm so awesome that show is tonight, that you guys can hear it as well. So guys, I'm going to introduce, it's Miss Heather Ripley from Ripley's PR agency. So a little bit about her. That it says, after serving as an assistant buyer for a national department store, she caught the communications bug and spent the next decade managing the marketing and PR campaigns for companies like Clockwork Home Services and its 3 franchise brands, 1 Hour Heating and Cooling, Benjamin Franklin Plumbing, and Mr. Sparky. This is when she discovered how impactful public relations could be to the residential service industry. She had grown up in a blue collar family where she learned about the worth and dignity of working in the trades. So when she opened Ripley PR, she had took what she had learned in the home service public relations and coupled it with experience of growing up in a family of skilled tradesmen and turned Ripley's PR into the nation's number one PR agency for the home service industry. So without further ado, help me introduce Miss Heather Ripley.
Hi, thank you.
Yeah, of course. I'm sorry. I got like my throat. I can't talk tonight.
It was a mouthful.
Yeah, it was. I guess that's why I fixed air conditioning, because I can't read very well. But anyway, Heather, thank you so much for coming on. I'm so happy, like I said, to finally do this interview. I guess we read that, but I guess a lot of little people know. So you grew up in the blue collar trades. Like, what did your family do? What kind of trades were you around?
Yeah, my dad's an automotive guy, so I grew up around cars. His grandfather was an electrician, so I learned early on to respect the trades and to place a high worth on that. It wasn't until I started working at Clockwork that I really fell in love with helping blue collar and small businesses, and I became really passionate about it because I was working not only with the franchise team trying to sell franchises, but I was working with the franchise owners and teaching them how to use PR to grow their businesses. And that was in 2008, 2009, height of recession time. And I ended up getting Jim Abrams on the Celebrity Apprentice in 2009, which was a huge thing at the time for the trades. And he sold the company. I went off to work for a couple different agencies, and then I started Ripley PR in 2013. And I wanted to focus on skilled trades. So we don't just do home service. I'd say about 60% of our clientele is home service, but we also represent some construction, and then other contractors like roofing, garage doors, and anything to do with your home repair. So I really found a niche because I feel like the biggest, best home service companies really understand marketing, but PR is something that very few understand and very few actually use it. So it's an opportunity to really stand out from your competitors and do something that nobody else is doing.
Yeah, I agree, because I feel like some of these places they're out there and they're doing really good service, but they're like the town's best kept secret because nobody knows about it. And that's where the whole PR comes in, and I get it that everybody thinks oh, I know Facebook, I know Instagram, I can do it myself. Well, sadly, it's not that simple. I wish it was, but it's not. There's a lot more to it. And I remember, and I don't know anything about what you guys do, but I remember just learning some of the little things, and I was like, oh, this is a lot more than I ever thought it was. And and there's a lot to it. And I think also, and I guess I'll get your opinion, and you don't have to be some great big company to do this. Like even little guys need this just as much as the big guys.
Yeah, I get asked all the time, when should I start PR? How big do I have to be to start? And I tell everybody, you should start the day you open your doors. If you slap a logo on your door and you name your company, you should be telling the local newspaper that you exist. You can introduce yourself to the local news media. And think of it as one of the things I usually have to answer is, what's the difference between PR and marketing? And marketing is paid media. So it includes everything you're doing that's paid. And PR is earned media. So it includes stories and interviews and opportunities to be an expert. So if you think about how you can help homeowners prepare their home for vacation, like you could picture yourself being interviewed by a TV reporter and walking through a home showing them things. That's a PR opportunity versus a TV commercial.
Yeah, no, that makes so much sense. I didn't even think about that, the difference between those two. So I guess what is some, when somebody comes to you, like what are some of the things that you guys are able to do to really kind of change, how these companies are growing?
Yeah, well, a lot of companies come to us with a problem. They say, we have this terrible reputation in our market and we really need to fix it. That's reactive PR. So we're going to try to find some stories. We're going to try to position you as an expert in your market, maybe offer a tips for homeowners to keep their homes safe and secure in the holiday season. Something like that, or we might piggyback on something National Electrical Safety Month, or something like that. But we will work with a company and find out what they have going on, and then we'll create a story. We'll pitch the media and get them some interviews. It could be charitable giving. It could be a new state-of-the-art training center in your office. It could be just, you've got a technician that's been with you for 35 years. Getting him interviewed, why he stays with that company. Those are good stories, and it makes other technicians want to work for a company like that that's always out in the news.
Yeah, no, I agree. And customers definitely love a story. That's how they can make a connection to that story. Because I feel like a lot of people do the same old stuff is, that we're honest and we're fair and we do good work and we're dependable and, and not to sound like an ass, but it's like, well, you're supposed to be those things.
Yeah.
That doesn't really set you apart from somebody else by saying those kind of things. I mean, and obviously, so this is the kind of stuff that you did when you were with the clock. I mean, obviously, everybody in
Mm-hmm.
this industry knows the big three. You know those brands.
Yeah.
They're huge. Which is funny that only 1 hour heating and air conditioning is in my area. You don't really see Benjamin Franklin or Mr. Sparky, which is I've heard them say it's strategic on how they do that. Um, but everybody knows who they are. So obviously they're doing something different than what other people are doing.
Mm-hmm. And you've got to think about your market share too. Like how a lot of companies they think they have a bigger market share than they actually do. One of the things at Clockwork we used to do, which is kind of funny now, but one of the pushbacks we got about changing your company name was people would say, "Oh, people know who we are." But if you take a few college students and you put them in a mall or somewhere where people are, and you ask just random people walking by, name 3 HVAC companies, you'd be surprised how few name your company. And so that's kind of a telling sign that there's so many people out there and everybody knows somebody in the industry. So very few companies actually have as large of a market share as they think they do. And so this is just one way that you can stand out. And it's a lot of our clients use the PR that we get and they push it out on social media because it adds credibility. If a technician's in the home, he might have an easier sell if he's like, "Hey, did you see our owner was on CBS last night? He was interviewed about this very situation." Something like that adds a lot of credibility to what you're doing too.
Yeah, no, that's for sure. I mean, even something as little like when it comes to marketing, like on the radio or a commercial, people being able to hear that voice and we've done a huge radio push in the last year. It's been extremely expensive, but we have definitely done that. And it's funny you say that because a lot of people always message me and say, "Hey, Go, I want to start my own company," or they're already business owners and they're just not growing, and they're saying, "I think it's because there's too many companies in my area." And I'm like, "Well, there's a piece of the pie for everybody. That's just it's just knowing who you're supposed to be marketing or PRing to, your
Mm-hmm.
clientele. Like we've done a lot with." I get it when we first start, you're kind of taking everybody because you're trying to build a name, you're trying to get, build up your portfolio, so to speak. And
Right.
now that we've gotten bigger and we are, you know, uh, couple $1 million company and stuff like that, where we can kind of pick and choose. Now we're trying to, we want more of those relational customers who they want to spend money with us and stay, not those people that are just all about money. Cheapest price, because now we don't want to be those people anymore. That's not us. We're about doing a really good job, but it's going to cost a little bit more, not the cheapest guy. Oh, call this guy, he'll give you the best deal. That's not what are we known
Mm-hmm.
for.
Yeah, and one of the differentiators we had at Clockwork was on time. And all three of our brands were focused on time. So that was one of our key messages. Every press release we did, we talked about our technicians are going to be on time or it's free. And that was the message that we always drove home. So that was different than everybody else at the time. So you've got to figure out your one or two things that really make you different. And it's like you said earlier, it's not customer service. It's got to be something truly different. And then you can use PR to drive that message home and resonate.
Yeah, and it's it's kind of I think the PR kind of bounces off the whole like mission statement or core values. It's the same thing where
Yeah.
people try to be generic with it. It's like nowadays that you have to be authentic with that. It has to be something really true to identify your company, because that's what drives culture and how you really create a place that people want to work for. And if you don't have it, especially nowadays, technicians, like they're all, if you're a good technician, you're a unicorn, because you can go wherever you want. We're short staffed. So if they're going to see through the BS quick, fast, in a hurry. So you have to be genuine and authentic when you do that. So dealing with the different trades, have you had any, like, has one been a lot harder than the other? Or is it kind of like you guys do what you do regardless of the niche?
I think based on my experience working with various trades, I would say that HVAC is the easiest for our team and for me to explain PR to. I don't know whether it's just because of the personality type or what that really loves marketing. And I have found that we can sell to plumbers, we can sell to electricians, we can tell them what we do and it makes sense. But for HVAC, they think differently. I've just found those guys are more driven, they're more ambitious, and they want to grow. And so they're not just chasing shiny objects, but they're truly grabbing hold of something different, and they see it for what it is. So that said, I would say there's a lot more story opportunities in the HVAC too, because you've got the seasonal changes. You can talk about things like, do you really need to change your filter every couple months or every month or whatever? What should you be doing as a homeowner to keep your unit working longer? Those are things that seem like no-brainers to a smart HVAC guy, but people don't understand it. Should you put a smart thermostat in your home? And if you do, what should you look for? Can you do it yourself, or should you call an expert to do it? Those are things that you can position a company to come on air on TV and talk about and educate. And the news reporters love that stuff because it's good content. It's not trying to sell anything, you're trying to educate. And so you'd be surprised how many TV reporters will pick up on something like that. And if you're really good, they invite you back over and over and over to come talk about something else.
Yeah, no, I that's so awesome you said that. Well, HVAC, it's because we're the best trade. Of course, that's why. Yeah, no, because we started doing stuff like that because obviously, with me having the podcast and then also, running an HVAC company, I try to repurpose some of my HVAC, my uncensored content. I just got to make sure I don't cuss in those videos. But little things that we've done, or I've made dedicated videos just for the company, literally about what you just said, because we actually we went through over like changing your filter, the different kinds of filters, how long they should last, when you should check them, the different kinds of thermostats. And we actually, most of our customers, we recommend that they try to do it themselves if they want to save money. Because to be honest, I can't make money, a technician who's going to somebody's house just to change a thermostat. You can only mark it up so much or the people won't do it. It's not really a hard job, so I can't make a whole bunch on labor. We'll tell them, hey, if we're out there to do a maintenance and it's there, then we'll change it for you. Or I'd rather them call and be like, oh, hey, yeah, that's awesome. That they'll tell me how to do my own thermostat. And I think that adds credibility so that they're not, it's not like, a lot of people nowadays, it's either, 1,000 cuts by subscription, or it's, beat them up and take their wallet. And it's like, hey, I'll give you this free advice for, this free advice. I don't need anything in exchange.
Yeah. And I think the best companies do that. Then they ask, there is a balance and there's a fine line to walk with the DIY, but it does add value if you're willing to tell them, hey, you could do this yourself. But somebody like me is going to say, I don't want to do it myself. Please do it for me.
Yeah, and it's awesome to give those people that option. A lot of people don't think they have that, and and most people mess it up. But I think sometimes giving people the option just goes a long way. So you guys how hard is it for you? So you do like the whole United States, like all just in the States?
Yeah. We have clients worldwide. We have a couple of B2B tech clients worldwide. We have one in Israel. We actually have a nonprofit in Australia. So we do work worldwide, but most of our home service clients are throughout the U.S. We have a lot in the Northeast. We have a lot in the South, and then a lot out West, especially California. And we've now, over the last 10 years, we've worked in just about every market. We don't just have retainer clients. We have a client that will come on for a 4 or 5 week campaign and then go away. So PR can benefit you if you do it 3 times a year, 4 times a year. If you do it ongoing, it really doesn't matter. It all helps. So not all of our clients are ongoing year-round clients.
No, that makes sense. So a lot of it. So when a company has and they come to you and they say it is retainer, like we have you 365 days a year, you are really just giving us the ideas to get out, because what really clicked in my head, and I don't know why, but I guess it makes sense, is marketing and PR is different. Because me, running a business, I'm thinking, okay, my marketing budget is 20% of, okay, so if I need some PR, that's got to come out of my, be in my marketing budget. And, so I guess what you do is still marketing, is just different.
It is, and it comes out of the marketing budget. We will work alongside marketing teams and even marketing agencies, and where it makes sense, if there's a big campaign that is running, we'll try to create some stories and have the same messaging go out. PR can't be promotional, because when it is, the journalists won't cover it. They see through that. Yeah. So it really has to be positioned as news or some kind of education kind of piece. Because you got to think about a journalist for a newspaper is trying to sell ads or readership, and a reporter for TV is trying to sell ads, so they want viewers. And despite what some companies think, they're not just looking for negative news. They're just looking for something that will get a lot of viewership. So something interesting. And a lot of times that's a negative news story, but it doesn't have to be.
Do you guys ever get that? Like, I don't know this person's name, but to throw them out there, there was that one plumber who made a stupid comment on camera, and I think he ended up losing his business. I mean, do you ever get people that they have some kind of disaster and they're like, hey, Heather, can you fix this?
All the time. Yeah.
Oh, man.
And, think about it. You take the truck home. We've seen so many DUIs or accidents with the company truck, or we've had people be arrested in front of the company truck, people getting in fights, and the company name is right there. There's been some serious things that were a little bit more than just mistakes. But then, of course, there's mistakes too. We had a plumbing client that was a long-time client, fortunately, because we had a lot of positive press. Super tired technician messed up something with a gas water heater and it exploded, leveled the house. And, there's going to be lawsuits and all kinds of stuff. So we help clients through that. We work alongside their attorneys a lot of times. There are serious things, and then there are some not so serious things. but most of the time you can make it go away if you handle it right. The problem is that when something bad like that happens, your emotions are really high and you can't think straight. So we just have our clients give us a call. We'll talk you through it. We'll help you. And so, yeah, we've worked on all kinds of stuff like that.
No, that's awesome, especially nowadays with this, everybody
Yeah.
you do something, everybody's trying to film, or, I had a podcast not that long ago where people try to hold you hostage with bad reviews now,
Yeah.
Oh, well, I'm not paying that full price. I want a refund, or I'm going to leave you a 1-star review. And, so that makes sense. And I guess I didn't think it was that common, but I guess it is. And that makes sense, because with what we do in the trades in general, not just HVAC, you can be the best of the best. Like everybody makes mistakes, and sometimes that mistake leads to a very big problem. And I think it's about how you handle that problem is what says a lot about you. If you just wash your
It is.
hands, then that's a little different, because sometimes my job really is making sure that fires get put out, or making sure that they don't get started. Not literal fires, you know what I mean? But that's just part of it. It's something that you have to do because you're dealing with people, and people make mistakes. It's just we're nobody's perfect.
Yeah.
So I guess I would say so. This is just curiosity. So as far as like revenue wise, what is? Well, I guess I would say, what is the biggest that you've done PR for, and then the smallest that you've done PR for?
One of the biggest would be Service Titan. I think all of you guys know them. They're a longtime client, and Aura is a big fan of PR, and we kind of helped establish the company as a known brand in the industry because of the PR that we were doing early on, and it just continued to build upon itself. So that's an example of a B2B company that we work with in the space. And we've worked with manufacturers like Modine and Carrier and Lennox too. So we don't just represent the contractors, but we work with a lot of vendors too. A big company, we've worked regularly with clients that are 20, 30 million, pretty standard. For a retainer client. And then we've had retainer clients that are 4 million, and we've helped them grow from 4 to 8 to 10 and so on. Somebody who's probably in the $1.5 million plus, we would look at doing something a couple times a year, or 3 times a year, 4 times a year, and just kind of growing with them so that we keep their name out there in their local media. Because again, your competitors aren't doing it. Very few companies are using PR. So even if you hit the media twice a year with a message, you're doing more than your competitors are doing.
Yeah.
So it's still going to help your company.
Yeah, or if it's the big guys, they're like, oh, well, they have all these commercials. Well, let's be honest, that's not who you're competing against.
Yeah.
Like you have to know your competition. Like in our area, we have some big guys. Like 1 Hour is around here. We have the big company, Michael & Son. I was actually a supervisor for them years ago. And some other big ones. But these guys, their marketing budget is probably bigger than, what we bring in a year, But in all fairness, that's not who we're competing against. That's really, when people are looking up companies, it's not us and them most of the time. And we tell our technicians, we're like, if you guys ever go out and you do a sales call, because we have some guys that are selling techs that can do it. We're like, what's some of the companies you find yourself bidding against? And they'll name off companies. And I'm like, you just realized you didn't mention any of those? I'm like, so they're not really the guys that we're up against. So don't worry about their commercials. Just get a chuckle like I do and move on. It doesn't matter. So I find that kind of funny. And you said earlier too about the charitable stuff, which we have done, which I had a hard time at the beginning, obviously not doing it, but it was videotaping it, because I felt like I want to do these good deeds and you want people to know that you're doing them, but I didn't want it to look like, oh, I'm kind of using these people to get it. But when you do it the right way, and you have the conversations with the customers, I think it's been awesome. We just did one with Lennox, actually. It was like Lennox Feel the Love event that we did, and we helped an amazing family. And then like last year, this was just a customer that we ran into. Her husband went to sleep, didn't wake up. She had 2 children that were what was it? Sensory I forget, some kind of thing. We ended up giving her a boiler for nothing. We got a company to donate it. We put it in, which that stuff is just those feel good moments, and it's been huge. It turned out way better than we ever could have hoped, with really doing a small amount of PR with it. So and that was us not knowing we were doing. So I can only imagine somebody like you guys doing something like that the way it's supposed to, what it can turn into.
Well, what I've found is the companies that give back in some way to something, those are good companies. And I always hear this, like, we want to do it, but we don't want to tell anybody. That just feels wrong. It feels like it's self-serving. But I always tell them, because I have worked on boards of nonprofits and had nonprofit clients, a lot of these guys, nonprofits, can't afford PR. So you're doing them a big favor by getting that PR out there. So what we do is we kind of spin it a little bit. So if you think about, if you have ABC, HVAC, ABC cooling, whatever, if you donate $2,000 to XYZ organization, that, if you put that as the headline, that feels self-serving. But if you spin it and say XYZ organization receives $2,000 from ABC Cooling, then that feels a little bit better. Yeah. So that's what we do. We work with the recipient organization, and we craft a press release. It's called a joint press release because it's coming from both of you. And then they push it out on all their social media channels. They're thanking you. We push it out in the media. And you're inspiring other companies and other people to give to that organization too, that they might not have known about it. And if you donate a unit to a family, that still is inspiring other companies to give in some way. So you just never know what good is going to come from those stories. You got to kind of think outside the, it's a little bit selfish to keep it within and not share that. So just look at it a little differently.
Yeah, no, it makes sense. And I definitely didn't see that in the beginning. I was definitely one of those people who just kept it in. The other thing that I'm curious about is, as long as you've been doing PR, how has it changed with technology over the time? The fact that we have social media, not people read newspapers like they used to. People still watch TV and the radio, but how has it evolved since you started?
Oh. Yeah, I mean, a lot has changed. Social media has changed tremendously because everybody's a journalist, and you kind of have to check right or wrong, fact check. You've got people sharing all kinds of stuff online. But in a lot of ways, it hasn't changed because, if you're scrolling through your Facebook feed, you might see local TV stories because they're pushing those out. So if you get a TV story at 4:00 in the afternoon, you get a lot of people still at work, but they're seeing it on their phone, on their on Facebook. So those stories do still get seen. They live online for quite some time, and you can share them on social media. You can share them on your website and get a lot of clicks on those. But I would say that it has changed because a lot of digital agencies, there's a lot of digital agencies in the home service space, and they realize that PR helps with SEO. So they've started selling PR, but really all they're doing is writing a press release and throwing it on your website. So it's not really serving the same purpose. And so I think that the term PR press release has kind of gotten a little bit cloudy because people don't understand that you can't just write it and expect it to get picked up. You have to actually send it to the journalist, and you have to pick up the phone and call them and talk to them about it. And there's a whole layer of, how you write it. Are you writing it in a marketing tone or journalistic tone? And really understanding their reasons for covering a story or not. So that's a little bit different. But the world is getting smaller and smaller, and journalism rooms are getting smaller, so they need good content. And our team often writes the content for the journalist, so they could just copy and paste. So it's changed a lot, but a lot has stayed the same over the years too.
Well, that's good to hear, because I was going to say, so a lot of people that work for you, like, they almost have to be journalists in a way, don't they?
We have half of our team are former journalists. Yeah.
No, that makes sense. Yeah, because it's I definitely know it's when you hear the comment, it's not necessarily what you say or how you say it or vice versa. So somebody can have a good idea, but maybe I may put a release, maybe I do it myself, and it seems good in my head, but somebody like you with that expert opinion is like, oh, well, if you would have just worded it like this, and this, it would have made such a bigger impact. And that's, that makes a big deal. Man, I had a brain fart. I just had something in my head that I wanted to, I was thinking about. So do you guys build, I know like we have like a marketing advertising company that we deal with. And one thing through them is like they have relationships with these, for them it's, the media buyers, the people who know the radio stations and stuff like that. But in your guys' situation, like, people like reps at these TV stations and reps, people to deal where they're it's a lot easier for them to do business with you than, me trying to reach out to somebody.
It is in a lot of ways. And I talk about that in my book, which is for home service contractors. You can do PR yourself. You really have to put on the journalistic hat when you're writing it and look at it. Is it too promotional? Does it sound like an ad? And if it does, they're going to send it to the advertising department and not cover it. If it's good, then they'll cover it and want to interview you, or they'll pick it up straight word for word.
So is this something, so obviously you guys don't work for free. There's a retainer or whatever payment for your services. Is there a fee to get it picked up by the station, or is that just something that you put out and then, it's good and they run with it?
Yeah, we just charge for our time to talk to the client, get to know them, write the story, write the press release, and then pitch it. And then we give a report showing all the media pickup that we earned, any backlinks. We give a report showing all the links, and then that's it. So if a TV reporter picks it up or interviews, that's part of what we do, and they're not charging for it. That's, again, why it's called earned media. If you pay for it, that's advertising.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. I didn't think about that. Mm-hmm. So I guess besides the trades, what are some other odd ones that you've done PR for that you wouldn't, that you think would be odd to other people?
Odd.
Well, I think the trades, but that's why I say, so I guess it's not odd, but just something outside of the box. Yeah.
Well, I co-own a martial arts school with my fiance. So I do jiu-jitsu, and we do PR for the school. So that might be a little bit odd or different.
Yeah, see, Heather's going to do a PR statement and beat your ass at the same time. So you better be careful. I trained in jiu-jitsu as well, so that's awesome.
Awesome, cool.
Yeah, that is really cool. So like some of the people that we talked about, off air, like some of the people that I get, I've gotten on the podcast from you guys. So how does that work? So say like I'm writing a book and I reach out to you and say, hey, I need PR for this. Is it like that kind of stuff?
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah. Yeah. We have people in the industry. For instance, the CEO of Rooter Hero in California wrote a book. And so we were already working with Rooter Hero. John called us and said, hey, can you do some PR for my book? So we did a press release. We pitched media. We got a couple speaking engagements, podcast interviews like this. Really anything that's going to help further that company. It might be award submissions. Samsung North America called us and wanted somebody to nominate them for a customer service award. So we did that, and they won, and that was, a short project that we did. And just anything to get your name out there in a positive way. So TV interviews. Yeah. Awesome. Yeah, TV interviews, speaking engagements at trade shows or chamber events for local companies, stuff like that.
So that's, to be curious, I mean, is there something you could do, like, say me, the podcast, was trying to hire you? Is there something PR related that I could do for the show?
Yeah, I mean, if you hit a certain milestone with listeners or viewers or something like that, we could issue a press release. And, the great thing about press releases, they go on the wire, which some people might not understand, but it's a website where news exists. You post your news. You have to pay a fee to post your news on there. But there's all kinds of journalists worldwide that are looking for keywords. They might be looking for podcast owners or hosts. They might be looking for HVAC experts. But they search certain words, and then they might pick up your press release from the wire. So they live out there forever. I had a client in 2014 that we did a press release for, and he, I guess, changed his phone number. He called like 2 weeks ago and asked if we could have it taken down because he was still getting calls for this business that was the wrong number or something. He had it on his home phone. It was like 9 years ago. So they work.
Yeah, no, well, hey, I might have to reach you guys out for that, because definitely the podcast has grown tremendously since I started it, and now it's getting to a point just trying to mix it up and do different things, maybe that some others aren't doing, or just trying to go to that next level. So that's pretty awesome. Yeah, I'm trying to think when it comes to different. I mean, let me ask this: is there anything that I haven't asked that you would like to cover?
Well, you mentioned reviews. So we do help companies answer reviews. We have some best practices that we follow. We can teach your marketing person or a call taker, dispatcher, how to respond to them. But we do have some best practices that we follow. And negative reviews, we're asked about that all the time. There's 1 to 2% of people out there that are just going to be unhappy, and we know that. So on something like that, you craft your response to all the other people. Don't worry about making them happy or not. Just write it knowing that other people are reading it and looking at how you responded to that really rude person. So, yeah, I mean, we can help companies with reviews management as well.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, because reviews have been huge for us. Our 5-star rating, it's 4.9 to 5-star, means the world to us, because it wasn't bought and paid for like some things. Like, we've actually earned all of those, and like, sometimes you could do the best job and you're gonna get that customer you can't make happy. And one thing we've learned, where it used to be like we just didn't even respond, but then people say, don't not respond to it, even if it's a generic, like, something, always respond to it, because, like what you said, people are going to look at how you respond to it. And sometimes when you say nothing, even if it's a small amount, it's almost like admitting the guilt. It's not just gonna go away.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, no, that makes great sense. So your actual headquarters, where are you guys located again?
We're right outside of Knoxville, Tennessee. So you might hear a slight accent.
Yeah, there's a little bit of twang in there, just a little bit.
A little bit.
Well, I'm trying to make sure there's nothing that that I missed. I was trying to ask questions that I was thinking of. Yeah, I'm trying to think. Is there anything else that I missed? I've tried to cover all the things in my head and branch out, but
yeah. PR is such a big topic, so it's still kind of the Wild West in this industry. I just tell people not to be afraid of it, to try it. Doesn't hurt to get your name out there in the local press and have some positive press out there, because like we talked about earlier, a crisis will happen at some point, and so you want that negative news to be buried with lots of positive things. The only thing I would say is my book, Next Level Now, is for home service contractors, and it was published in 2021 by Forbes Books. It's a toolkit. It teaches you PR. And so I highly recommend that you check it out. And it's on Audible and iTunes now. Just recently came out on audio. So I hear good things about it. And I just, you don't have to hire us to do PR. I just want to help more people. And that was a way for me to be able to help more companies
That's awesome.
understand it and be able to grow.
That's really, really cool. So if people buy, see, it's funny, I like audiobooks, but I'm old fashioned that I like the hardback books. Like normally I'll listen to the book audibly, and then I'll read it, because I just find like I retain it better. Where can people find that book? Amazon, like all the normal places?
It's on Amazon, Barnes & Noble. I'm pretty sure it's anywhere online that you would want to look. And then the audio book as well. Yeah, I'm the same. I like to have the book. I might listen to audio, but then I'll take notes in the columns and highlight stuff.
Yeah, I've always growing up, I liked reading, but it had to be something that really interested me. And as I've gotten older, I've learned so much from reading books, but I had to force myself to do it because I would read it, but then I would forget what I read. So if I listened to the audio book and then I went back and went a chapter at a time, and one thing that I love from a life coach that I had, he was like, read one chapter, and whatever you took from that, try to implement one thing. Don't say, oh, there was 25 great points in that book. He's like, you're never going to implement 25 things. Pick one, put it in a nutshell, try to implement it into what you're doing, and do that one chapter at a time. And it sounded so dumb, but it's been huge because I've learned a lot. I was the guy I was a really, really good technician. I was a good communicator, and, customers loved me, and I worked my way up the ranks, and I was like, oh, well, management and working my way up, that's the next step. And then when I got there, I was like, this sucks. I don't like this. And I'd rather go out there. But books and stuff like that, it's amazing how much I learned from books. I know you told me, what's the name of the book again?
It's Next Level Now, and PR Secrets to Drive Explosive Growth for Your Home Service Business.
Nice. Yeah, I might get a copy of that myself.
I'll send you a copy, Gil.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I can do that. I'm reading a David Goggins book right now. But as soon as I'm done, that can be the next one.
Cool. I made it an easy read, so it's short. It's pretty easy to get through.
You got pictures?
No picture. No, I don't have any pictures.
I need the picture books. Those are the ones I can really nail through. I know a lot of you that are in here, there's more technicians that are in the comments right now. But do any of you happen to have any questions for Heather of something you heard? I know we don't have too many of the business guys in here tonight. I'll probably get some after the fact when people email into the show. Did you stream? Yeah, I don't see much. Most of the guys that are in here I know are really, really good technicians. Not much of the business guys. Do you guys attend like AHR and stuff like that? Because I feel like I've seen you guys there.
Yeah, I was there. I didn't exhibit. I was walking around. We had a lot of clients there, so we were kind of walking around, and I did a couple podcast interviews there. Met with the media. There was a lot of media outlets there.
That's awesome. Well, if you guys go, to Chicago, let me know. Like I podcast from the Pavilion Live. I've cut down on how many I do because it's gotten so busy, and those places have gotten so big that it's hard to do a lot. But yeah, I'd love to meet you in person or do something there in Chicago.
Okay, I'll come by.
Yeah. So
cool.
Yeah, I guess I can't. Well, last thing, anybody who's, obviously not in here, but somebody listening to this audio wise, if they are a business owner and, they're looking to do some kind of PR and stuff like that, how can they get in touch with you guys?
Yeah, the easiest way, our website, RipleyPR.com, and it's RIPLEY, just like believe it or not. There's a contact button. You can fill that out or email me at hripley@ripleypr.com. I'm happy to talk to anybody, see what news they have, make recommendations. If it makes more sense for them to do it themselves, I'll tell them to. So, happy to talk to anybody who wants to grow their business.
That's awesome. That's so awesome. Well, thank you so much. We're a little at about an hour now. Heather, thank you so much for coming on. It was finally talk to you in person. Like I said, I've done the emails and stuff like that. To be able to finally meet you and hear some of the awesome things that you guys do is pretty amazing. So thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, of course. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and close this out. You can hang tight. If you have to go, it's totally up to you. Thanks everybody in the chat. I know that you got a lot of you guys that you're not business owners, but this is, like I said, there's been quite a few amazing guests that I've been able to get. So I've been able to build a relationship with Heather and her, PR firm, and like I told her, a lot of times, they'll book shows and it's for somebody else. And I was kind of excited that this was actually for her and to talk about, what they're doing, because, we all need PR, and I don't care what size company you work. And the companies that a lot of you are working for may be doing this and you don't even realize they're doing it. So I think it's a very, very good topic to do, especially nowadays when we're all trying to set ourselves apart, from the next company. Like, it's pretty much exactly, what Heather just said. But thank all you guys for being here. I appreciate you coming to watch the show live. I really do appreciate you guys being here every Wednesday. I cannot thank you enough. So like I was mentioning earlier, a lot of you guys, so I am trying to buy our forever house, the one that I'm going to stay in. I'm sick of moving. And what we're doing is selling a property with my mom. We had to get the tenants out of that house. We're going to sell it. And then we're doing what's called a 1035. That's what it's called, where you roll over the proceeds to a new house. So you don't got to do capital gains or nothing. You literally take whatever you make, and we can probably make, $200 some plus $1,000 off of this house, plus other money that we have, so that we can get the house that we want, be done with it. And I can't wait. Whenever we do get the new house, the studio, I'm going to go all out. I'm going to fucking Joe Rogan the shit out of it. But like I said before, my plan is to really go all out for the studio, and also have a place where people can come there, where I can actually have podcasts where somebody's sitting next to me. And so I'm pretty excited for that to happen. But anyway, my tenants are out. I'm trying to fix up that house to do some last minute things so I can get it on the market and get it sold. So that's why I've kind of been quiet here for a little bit. Haven't really done much else on social media. So trying to get that thing sold. Because obviously I can't get something else until that is gone. So it's been a crazy process, but I'll keep you guys along as things happen. But yes, thank you guys earlier for the prayers for my mom. My mom is doing good, which has been awesome. She's been really taking good to the chemo and immunotherapy, and God is good. So we'll just keep rolling. She's up and around, cooking, doing things. So it's awesome to see. I hope it stays like this for a long time. But I can't complain. It's supposed to be like 100 fucking degrees here this weekend. So hopefully it goes crazy. Who knows? I might be out this weekend running some calls, showing these mofos what's up. That I'm not all talk. I can do it. Miss Jessica Egan, how are you there, ma'am? But I'm not going to keep this too long. I'm going to go ahead and close this out. Go hang out with the family a little bit for my daughters, go to bed, and that's about it. Guys and gals out there, please be safe out there. I want you all to make it home the same way that you left. Be hydrated, be drinking water. Even when you're not at work, be hydrating. The liquid IVs are amazing. The electrolyte drinks are awesome. Like, just please be careful. Like I always say, the moment that you stop sweating is the oh fuck moment, because you're probably going to pass out. Don't be in some attic trying to push through it, thinking because of your ego that you need to fuck that. especially if you work for some big company. Something happens to you, guess what? Business is still going to go on. You know, your family's going to have to learn to live without you. So be smart and please, please be careful. I hate seeing that stuff on the news when you see any kind of tradesman passed out in an attic, somebody had to pull them out from under a building or whatever it is. I don't need to dust off my tools, rookie. Come on now. My tool bag's in the back of my truck all the time. I try to get out there with the guys as much as possible, but normally I'm helping somebody else. I'm not by myself. So this time I'm going to hop in one of the other vans and go out there and rock and roll. These guys know what's up. They like it when I ride with them because if I ride with them, any commissions that are made, I give to them. I don't take it. So, which I shouldn't. That's a perk for them. So a lot of times when I'm like, hey, I'm riding with you today, they're like, fuck yeah, let's do it. So dust my tools off. Fuck out of here, boy. No, I love going to the field. It's why I got into this trade, man. I like fixing things. I love doing that kind of stuff. Now doing what I do, there's parts of it I love, parts of it I don't love. But, the technical part, teaching the technicians, helping them, answering their questions, that's the part that I love doing now. So, I don't think I know how to use them. That's fine. I won't be your, well, if you got BLUON now, I was going to say, I'll stop being your fucking tech support, rookie. Son of a bitch. That's what it is. I knew it was something like that. It's fine. I'll just go out there and hack shit up and call BLUON tech support and let them tell me how to fix it. Come on, Jessica. No BLUON made you mad. What'd they do? I have to call Mr. Peter or Danica and tell them somebody's effing up at BLUON. That's not good. What's going on? Real fast before I'll answer a few things in here real fast before I close it out. Most of you guys and girls I know already have. Yeah, Jessica, you do have to do that, and it does suck, but you have to realize why they did that though. I mean that they have some really good people in their tech support department, which is not cheap, and when they were given away for free, and a lot of people didn't take advantage of it. So that's why they had to do that. But if you literally go on there and buy parts, you can get it through supply houses you're already using. And if you're doing that enough and you message them and say, hey, my company doesn't make everybody else do it. Oh, you can't order parts. Okay. Yeah, that does suck then. That sucks. And I see your side of it, but I also understand why BLUON had to do it. I really do. But it does suck when you can't get to use it. I have all those retard tools for me, I got them marked with tape, so I know exactly which way to turn them and, all that kind of stuff. Fucking dick. Stop being mean to me, man. I thought you guys are my friends, you fucking assholes. I'm trying to press buttons and I can't even do it. I don't like you guys. It does suck, Jessica. It does suck. But yeah. Let me close this out. What's up, Zay? If you haven't already, I know most of you have. If you could like and follow me on all the different social media platforms. Really, it's just Facebook, Instagram. Well, I guess it's a couple more. So Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok, as well as YouTube. If you could leave me a review so we can get this out to other people, I'd be greatly appreciated. With that being said, man, I appreciate you guys. Remember, like I said earlier, be safe out there. Whether we all got somebody to make it home to. So whether it's driving, it's the hydrating part, it's checking a breaker, whatever it is, just be smart. All right. Make sure you're well rested, get sleep at night, so that you can all be safe out there, man. I don't want to hear of anything happening to any of you. That would just totally suck. Remember, do the little things. Set yourself apart from the next guy or girl, man. Keep doing what you got to do to master your craft. Keep getting better and better at what you do. Don't ever think that you can stay the same. There's no such thing as staying the same. You're either moving forward and getting better, or you're moving backward. That's just the way it works, sadly. So read a book. Let's do a podcast like you're doing right now. An online course, you know? Or I'm going to say this as well. If you are really good at what you do, help somebody else. Give back to the trade. You don't have to do a podcast or a YouTube channel. By all means, do it. If I can help you start it, by all means, I will. But I get it. Not everybody can do that. It's not realistic. But somebody that works at your company, take them under your wing, help them, teach them what they know, give back to that next generation. We need more people to do that. That whole hoard the knowledge because they may take my job is fucking ridiculous and needs to be gone. We need more good young techs in this industry. So train them up, man. Be one of the people, the men or women who helps get this trade to the next level, not one of the one who holds us back. All right. With that being said, man, I love you mofos. I appreciate each and every one of you. Hope you guys guys and girls have a great fucking week. And like I always say, don't forget to check out some of the other amazing HVAC podcasts out there that I keep missing. It was an awesome one with the Misfits had with my buddy Chris, HVACR videos. I'm going to be on with Mr. Adrian, Reliable HVACR, here in a few weeks, which I'm super excited because he's absolutely fucking crushing it. You got Brett, Advanced Refrigeration Podcast. Those guys are smart. They talk about things that I gotta, over my head, but I enjoy listening to it, because they're putting out amazing fucking information. HVAC time. That's funny. Yeah, but check out all the different shows, man. Show that support. It takes a lot of work to put in these, to do these podcasts, man. Just think about, you guys get off work and you watch them. Just imagine how it would be creating it. So support all those people out there. My buddy Pat, Commercial Kitchen Chronicles. I know Pat is just literally to the grindstone, and he's literally trying to pave the way because he's got a whole different side of this business, the podcast. It's not like HVAC. He's trying to do a different side. So, we keep telling him to just keep breaking those barriers down. Yes, there is the Cooler Heads podcast as well. To be honest, I knew that's there. I haven't checked it out yet. But I've heard awesome things about it. So all of them, all the ones, check them out. There's enough for everybody to, to listen to and support those people. You know what I mean? With that being said, man, have a great fucking week. I love you mofos, and I'll talk at you later. All right? Peace.
Thanks for listening to the HVAC Uncensored Podcast. Don't forget to check us out on Facebook and Instagram, or email us anytime at hvacuncensored@gmail.com. Now, get back to work. Shut this down. The views and opinions shared on the HVAC Uncensored Podcast may not necessarily be the views and opinions of our sponsors or guests.
Apparently my dog won't shut the fuck up, so have a good night. Fuck you, Scott, for being mean to me. I thought we were friends.